Overwatch 2 showcases their new character, Far Cry 6 fake beta invitation, and Dead by Daylight is getting a remaster. Sort of. Welcome everybody to a brand new video of Gamer Connect. My name is Gavin Mendes and you guys are watching right now top gaming news of this week. Before we go ahead into the news, hit the like button right now in this very video because that helps us out a lot, and subscribe if you're new here. So now let's just jump into the first news, which is going to be about Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is still at least a year away from the release, but recently with Blizzcon there was much more info about the new character by the name of Sojourn. According to the previous statements, when Sojourn was first announced, it was told that the rifle would be similar to that of Soldier 76, but now we have a much better idea of how it is. The weapon that Sojourn has does have a high rate of fire, but the secondary fire is more of a single shot railgun. It does take a bit of time to charge up and then it fires. It's more like Widowmaker Sniper when you scope in, there's a small charge. So if you shoot it at the highest charge, it does the maximum damage, but it does take a little bit amount of time to get to that charge and then you shoot. And I think that gives the maximum damage. Also, the primary fire of the gun is more like Orisa's, where the rate of fire is a lot and has a large spread pattern. Actually, they have revealed much more, like weapon upgrades, where they have overhauled the sound system of these weapons, from melee attacks to how the gunfire sounds in different locations. So for example, the gun will sound differently in tunnels than in open areas, which is pretty cool to have. They are even working on making tanks much more buffy of a character, where they can actually go toe-on-toe against someone instead of just defending your team. Reinhardt, for example, gets 2 charged fire strikes instead of 1, and now he can stop himself charging into someone, which is something I was looking for. Another awesome change that they have added is a weather system. Now in certain maps like Temple of Anubis, you can have sandstorm, or maybe in some map where there is snow, you can have snowstorm, maybe a breeze of wind and a sunny weather, or rain, which is something that really needed to be in the game so that there would be more realism in the game, which is very much lacking in the first game. You can also upgrade your character in an RPG sort of system. There's a lot of upgrades that you can do for each character. For example, one of the upgrades that Reinhardt can have is a freeze charge attack instead of like a fire charge attack. Or Soldier can have his heal move with him. Or Mei can become a big ice ball and she can roll over. So many new things that have been added into this game that makes character much more better. They have also changed the way PvE works because this game is heavily relying on PvE, adding new types of null sectors, as they're called. Really innovative enemies that you can visually see the damage you give them, and also the movements or abilities that they use, you can actually see how they're doing it. They have really worked well on these things, which is very small details, but it's very much important to have them. And speaking of characters also, there are big upgrades to how these characters will look now. With new clothes, a little bit different look. They're not completely overhauling the look, but a different look to make them look fresh. Now I will be perfectly honest, I think I'm really liking how Overwatch 2 is shaping up to be, because they want it to be a true sequel to Overwatch. As with all these new additions, it's really awesome to see how the game has completely changed, and I cannot wait for it to come out. Diablo 4 is going to take place in a shared open world, which means you will see more players, but you also don't need to participate in a PvP action if you don't want to. The free-for-all PvP zones will be contained within a clearly marked zone, and it's not present everywhere. So most of the time it will be an endless war between the angels and the demons. These PvP zones are called Fields of Hatred, where players can attack anyone, but there are also PvP activities such as events and bosses. You do earn rewards for being in these zones, which are being called Shards of Hatred, which you can get by killing monsters, completing events, opening chests, and even killing players. These things have to be purified before they can be used, and once cleansed, you can spend on items from special vendors such as costumes, weapons, and mounts. You can also become this Vessel of Hatred by doing a lot of killings, by doing PvE action, PvP action, all of that, and with that you get a Vessel of Hatred, or you become the Vessel of Hatred. And once you do that, in a very large radius, everyone will see you as a big threat. So if you're able to kill everyone who is coming to kill you, you get a very large bonus. If you get killed in the Fields of Hatred and you haven't cleansed the Shards of Hatred that you just earned, you will lose all of them because the other enemy or the other character or the other player will take it all away from you. According to the game director, he believes that this gives you motivation or a need to go back again and take revenge from that dude. Not only that, you can also collect ears now, which was initially in Diablo 2 but now is returning in Diablo 4. Which means if you get killed in Fields of Hatred, you're not only losing your shards of hatred, you're also losing your ears. So it is a lot of things that you're losing. Also, Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is a remaster of Diablo 2, is coming out this year. Although it doesn't have an exact date, so far it costs $40 on PC and it will come later on in consoles. This remaster will have new textures and everything that you usually see in remasters, and apparently it will also have a 144Hz refresh rate. Okay. Diablo 4 was announced back in 2019 and has no release date until now, but Blizzard did say that it will take a while before the game comes out. Now how long that while means, we don't know. It could be 2021, which it doesn't look like it's gonna be, so just ignore that. 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, it's just expect in the next 4 years you'll get it sometime. Far Cry 6 was announced last year with a cinematic trailer starring Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo, the ruler of the island of Yara, who seems to have a complicated relationship with his son. Usually fathers give their sons some toys, maybe video games, maybe shirts, whereas this father gives him grenades. I don't know if his son will ever celebrate Father's Day. The game was expected to come out this month, but it was delayed to later this year. Ever since, Ubisoft hasn't announced anything about the game. However, there has been this fake beta invitation that has been sent to content creators. This fake beta invitation was pointed out by Rad Brad, a YouTuber and one of my biggest inspiration on making videos on YouTube. He says that it even has an embargo with a special password for access. Attempting to access it will install some malware which watches your screen and records everything you do. Ubisoft did share a comment on this saying that this is a fake email invitation and you should not go and accept these invitations or click on any links because it's just not safe for you. Now these things usually happen with high profile games because there is some guy on the opposite side of the screen who just wants to see what you're doing in your PCs. So the incognito mode won't save you this time. I'm excited to see how Far Cry 6 goes because there have been rumors about the son of Anton being Vaz from Far Cry 3. It could be a prequel to Far Cry 3, but again it is a very big hunch. You never know if that is true or not. So just have to wait and see when this game can come out, and I hope that this game is good. Dead by Daylight came back in 2016 as a 4 survivor versus 1 killer game, again inspired from Friday the 13th, and not only that, there was a game of Friday the 13th which competed with Dead by Daylight, but it quickly washed away because Dead by Daylight was too OP. The game has also added new maps, new characters, many more crossovers, and now it is probably one of the best multiplayer games out there. But Behavior Interactive, the guys who made this game, are now thinking to revamp or remaster this game based on the standard or the current standard of graphics. They want to airbrush all the muddiness that makes this game outdated compared to the new games. The team so far has revamped 21 maps and a number of visual effects and says that they are halfway done. From the looks of it, they do look a lot better with good lighting, visible atmosphere, and better light flashes, and just in general a good look on these maps. They released a video showing the differences between the old look and the new look. Now the map looks sadistic with the killers and looks more scary. It looks more gloomy, more reflection, which makes it more better. With this new visual change and revamps, I think now the game looks much more scary than it was before. Of course the sounds were making it scary, but the locations were not as much, but now I think it is adding that atmosphere effect which you need in a horror game. It's so cool in general to see how Behavior Interactive released this game with only 30 people and now they have grown to around 300 people. Look at that growth in the last 4 years. It is not only the visual revamp, because now they want to focus on revamping the animations as well, which will be big. There will be new facial expressions so that survivors won't have the same expressions all the time. One of the things that the creative director said that the animation of healing is like a general massage, but they're working on it to make it look different. It was indeed weird when a killer just sliced your back and the way to heal is just general massage. Of course that will heal your wound which was given by this big axe. They're also working on a colorblind feature to add in the game, since the game relies on color-coded visual cues and survivors can see these red scratch marks left behind a fleeing party, but that creates a disadvantage as well. So good on them on focusing on adding this feature, because it's very important to, help everyone play whatever game they want to play. And I believe that this feature should be in every single game. Now this game came out 4 years ago and they're working on it now to add that, which is absolutely amazing. And it is great that they're still working on this game, and probably they're gonna work on this game even more as years come by. It's been a month since Hitman 3 came out, and they did promise that you can import Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 game location for free in Hitman 3. But it wasn't a thing during the launch day. With Hitman 3 being an Epic Store exclusive and Hitman 2 only on Steam, it was very hard to import any of the locations from Hitman 2 to Hitman 3. But now they have added a way that you can do that for free. Now keep in mind that this only works if you own Hitman 2 or Hitman 2016. If you don't own any of these two games and only own Hitman 3, it just won't work. At first, IO Interactive gave discounts on Hitman 2 locations, which wasn't received well. So now they have this solution where they will be using the Access Pass as a means to transfer locations over to Hitman 3, but now they are in a dedicated webpage for owners of the first two games. At the moment, the website is mostly optimized on PC and not on mobile, so yep, that's fun. And speaking of Hitman 3, it has been one hell of a closing to the story of Agent 47. Although the story is just a story where you don't care about, but the gameplay and the core mechanics of the game, the heart of the game is something that is very, very awesome in Hitman 3, and that is why it has got like 90% positive reviews on it. If you are a fan of Hitman games, I would definitely recommend you to play that game, because it's just one hell of a trilogy that they've set on. If you haven't played Hitman 2016 or Hitman 2, I would also recommend to play those, because those are really, really well done. And now we have to wait, because IO Interactive is gonna make the next project, that is Project 007, an unnamed, right now, James Bond game. I am so much excited for that. Well, thank you everybody for watching this episode of Top Gaming News. I hope you guys got some information about games and whatnot. If you did like this video, hit that like button and also comment down below what you think about any of the news we just discussed earlier, and also do not forget to subscribe for more awesome content coming every single week. My name is Given Manis, and I'll check you guys out next week with more gaming news and such things like that. Until then, stay awesome and keep on having fun by playing amazing video games.